So, hey guys, today we're doing another legacy card review. So today we're doing Tuner Scheme. Activate only when a synchro monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field. Take control of that synchro monster. Remove it from play when it is destroyed. Destroy this card when that monster is removed from the field. So the text here, very confusing for me. Notably the line where it says, remove it from play when it is destroyed. This text is old. Does that mean banish the the card that you take when it gets destroyed, either by battle or card effect? That's what I'm assuming. So the card text feels pretty damn old, I guess. And then we have destroy this card when that monster is removed from the field. So when that card gets banished, this card is destroyed, I guess. So nothing is stopping me from taking Tuner Scheme back, right? And because of how this effect works, how does this work? Activate only when a synchro monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field. So it doesn't say who is special summoning that synchro monster, interestingly enough. But it says you take control of that synchro monster. Is this like an activated effect or continuous? So if I remove Tuner Scheme, I don't think this is very clear. But does my opponent get that synchro monster back? So for example, we're going to assume this is past turn 3. If I have, we'll go with this, because this effect is very straightforward. You can detach one material from this card, special summon one monster from either graveyard to your opponent's field in defense position, so that card will not be negated. So if I give my opponent a synchro monster, so it probably has to be something that doesn't do something in response, and instead has an ignition effect, because if I gave my opponent Baron, then, chain 1 Tuner Scheme, chain 2 Baron, not great. So if we were to instead give our opponent, we'll go with something else, I guess. So ideally it would be either a trigger or maybe it could be a monster negate. So we'll go with Crystal Wing, I guess. That was properly summoned, so we can summon it back from the graveyard, I suppose. This can only respond to monster effects, so we'll go effect of Fanatic Mechanics to give my opponent. It could be their Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, actually, or mine. It doesn't matter. Special summons to their field. Notably, this is also a when, I guess, but because of how simplistic this effect is and that it's ignition, they should never miss timing like this here with this idea, I guess. Remove it from play when it is destroyed. Destroy this card when that monster is removed from the field. Okay, so give my opponent Crystal Wing, take control of Crystal Wing, seems straightforward enough. So what if I were to then also have the idea to bounce Tuner Scheme back? So how does that work? Or if we have Jinzo, how does that work with Tuner Scheme? If we normal summon Jinzo later on in this turn, is Tuner's Scheme still going to give me control of this Crystal Wing, or will my opponent get control of this? Because that would matter. And then we have ideas to bounce this back. So we'll go with, I guess, like Zephyros, I guess. If I were to Zephyros bounce this back, could I set this again? And then activate this again on a later turn when I reborn a different synchro to the field, perhaps? So we'll go with maybe like Psychic and Punisher. We could bring this back, I guess, and then try to take control with Tuner Scheme. And this effect only special summons to specifically your opponent's side of the field, so that might matter. And then real quick, I want to check Sanctifier to see if this would do something. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target 2 monsters in any graveyard, special summon both monsters, 1 to each field. Does this work here? Can this miss timing if we do this in chain to something else? So like Chain Link 1, we'll go with, I don't know. What's something really fine? Moyi, I guess. Chain Link 1 Moyi, Chain Link 2 Sanctifier to special summon. And we'll special summon a synchro to our opponent's side of the field to attempt to trigger Tuner Scheme. Does Tuner Scheme actually trigger here? Well, at this point, I have no idea because the text is so old and confusing. I have no idea exactly the intent here. So I'm going to assume it probably will miss timing and Tuner Scheme will not be activatable in this case. Probably. Just not 100% certain even. But yeah, that I guess the main issue here with this card, if you were actually to be playing it, this has to be used as an extremely targeted card because, you know, XYZ, Synchro, Fusion, and then we have Link. We have 4 different extra deck summoning mechanics here, and Synchro is 1 out of 4. So if your opponent's doing Fusion, XYZ, or Link, this card would be completely useless, kind of ish. There is an advantage, of course, of if your opponent were to summon something. We have the idea of like your opponent special summoning like a Chi or something, and then you can just take their Chi with Tuner Scheme. So that's one way you could use it, or you could use it in conjunction with cards that could special summon synchros to your opponent's field in a more forceful manner to more consistently maybe utilize Tuner Scheme. This is about the 2 ways I can see. So if you're not doing this way and you're trying to target your opponent's cards to yoink and twist them with like Tuner Scheme, this card is just not that great. Are there other options for this? I think there was like some cards that would be better. So I think like Mind Castling exists as of currently. So would this be better? Yeah. If this Synchro Summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up monster on each field, switch control of those monsters. This would work on literally any monster, so that's a little bit better. In regards to this, I guess. You can target 1 monster your opponent controls, switch control of that monster in this card. It also has this effect. So you could swap multiple cards with Mind Castling as well, actually. So that the idea could be like you special summon Mind Castling, you swap with your opponent's card with Mind Castling, and then you pop Mind Castling on the next turn, and then that should trigger Mind Castling effect, and then you just choose 2 guys to swap. You can give your opponent something like useless, I guess, and that would work. And you know what? While I'm at it, you know, might as well mention that like now that we have Mind Castling, technically, if you ban a Geonator Transverser, which I don't think you really need to do, not that really that much, but I think some people were talking about it at some point. Since Mind Castling exists, we don't even need Transverser anymore. I mean, it's like probably more convenient than Mind Castling, but you can probably get something to work with Mind Castling. So there's that idea still. Just raw taking one of your opponent's cards on your opponent's turn. I mean, there are cards that actually do this. So we have, at the moment, we have Memento Lin Mace to do this. We have actually Service Puppet Play, which does a yoink and twist as well. So if you were summoning this guy anyways, of course you would just add Service Puppet Play. So you don't even need Tuner Scheme here. And then there's also like ideas of Altergeist as well, because you have a yoink and twist here as well with Adminia. And this is just raw yoink and twist, you know? There's no negate on this. If you want a negate with this, I guess, with the yoink and twist, you have Fabled Levy Lazable here with this effect, which is soft once per turn. Which has the negate yoink and twist, which I mean, the effect's okay, I suppose. So yeah. What would I rate this card? Considering all of these other options exist as of currently, this card it has the word "when" on it, and also it's like not really searchable. I'm gonna give this a solid 2 or 3 out of 10. It's a terrible card, but yeah. interesting that it exists, and if your opponent just special summons any synchro monster, you can kind of yoink and twist it, unless of course they can respond to tutor scheme, like if your opponent is making a Baron. So kind of bad in that case. And also, you know, if your opponent's actually playing a Link deck, an XYZ deck, or a Fusion deck, that card can genuinely do nothing, which sucks. And then also, this isn't considering the fact that if you're going second with this card, it's already even more useless. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.